Daphne Reckert and Ian Figueira's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. The high school sweethearts from California ended up inheriting a 500-year-old French chateau on 130 acres outside Paris. And rather than sell it, they decided to transform it. But that decision came with a question. How do you fund the restoration of such a massive property? The answer lies in a smart, multi-layered financial strategy rooted in creative entrepreneurship, media exposure, and leveraging the estate itself. The first part of their funding story begins with the estate's built-in revenue stream, weddings and events. When Daphne inherited the chateau, it already functioned as a wedding venue, part of her grandfather's operations. She and Ian took this business and ramped it up. In interviews, they revealed that they tripled their annual bookings, reaching approximately 80 weddings per year. This isn't just a side hustle. It's a core revenue engine that allows them to generate consistent cash flow to reinvest into renovation work. But the weddings only tell part of the story. Daphne and Ian also draw on media and entertainment revenue. Their HGTV show, Castle Impossible, documents the renovation process step by step, bringing in both exposure and likely production financing. That show becomes a dual benefit. It pays for the work in part, and it markets the estate, increasing interest in weddings, filming, and other uses for the property. While exact figures aren't publicly disclosed, multiple sources confirm that the show is a significant piece of their funding puzzle. Next, the couple used the chateau as a filming location beyond their show. The estate has already hosted more than 50 French film and TV productions. This turns the chateau's size and historic character from a liability into an asset. Each production brings fees, rentals, and logistical revenue that help offset renovation costs. This helps explain how a property that demands major structural repair can keep moving forward. Another smart move? Daphne and Ian's own skills reduce their out-of-pocket costs. With backgrounds in carpentry, conservation studies, and landscaping, they personally handle much of the work themselves. Their hands-on approach limits labor expenses that could otherwise spiral out of control. When dealing with centuries-old systems, wood beams, stone walls, and historic architecture, this DIY ethic, backed by professional help when required, keeps their financial burden lower than many other renovation projects of similar scale. Now, by combining weddings, media productions, personal labor, and rental income, they have created a funding model that is both sustainable and scalable. Each revenue stream reinforces the others. Weddings drive interest in the property. Media attention raises the estate's profile. Filming creates income and connections. And DIY labor keeps expenses down. In a sense, the chateau becomes both the business and the product. Despite all these income streams, the couple remain realistic about the challenges ahead. They have openly admitted they do not have a large financial safety net and that the risks are real. Yet their strategy shows how smart entrepreneurs can turn a massive restoration liability into a multi-purpose business asset. For viewers and aspiring renovators, the lesson is clear. Taking on a huge project doesn't always require unlimited resources if you build income streams around it. The story of weddings tripling in bookings is especially notable. Weddings may seem like a side business for a chateau, but for Daphne and Ian, it became a cornerstone. Booking around 80 weddings a year means consistent revenue, and with proper management, they can direct a large portion of that income back into new renovation projects. That gives the estate a self-funding momentum. Similarly, filming location. Rentals provide high-ticket income for short durations, which helps fund big projects such as repairing roofs, replacing beams, or restoring historic interiors. And the HGTV show itself adds another layer of funding and exposure. Television production budgets, sponsorships, licensing deals, and the marketing boost from being on camera all contribute to the financial ecosystem around the estate. The show helps them attract more weddings, more venue rentals, more filming projects, and all of that keeps the money flowing back into restoration. One might expect that restoring a 500-year-old property means blowing through millions without return, but Daphne and Ian's approach turns that expectation on its head. They do many things that typical homeowners don't. Turn the estate into a business, leverage media and events, apply personal labor, and use the property itself to generate revenue. This diversification is key. For example, traditional renovation shows focus on one house, one budget, one timeline. But for the chateau, the scale is enormous: dozens of rooms, historic stonework, farmland, outbuildings, stables, and event spaces. By creating multiple income streams, including weddings, filming, and venue rentals, they align the size of the project with the size of their business model. They don't just fund the restoration, they build a business that allows the restoration to happen. What does this mean for the viewer? It means that rather than feeling like the couple is spending vast amounts of inheritance or independent wealth, they are actively building business models around their property. They don't rely solely on renovation contractors or endless savings. They create income, they reinvest, they scale. Of course, not every aspect of their revenue is publicly detailed: exact earnings per wedding, exact contract values for filming, exact profit from the show remain private. But the verified information we do have shows a clear pattern and provides trust. Weddings tripled, film productions use the estate, personal labor reduces cost, and the TV deal adds exposure and marketing value. Together, these elements explain how the massive renovation gets funded. In short, the story of Castle Impossible isn't just about restoring a chateau, it's about building a business around a dream property. Daphne and Ian inherited an estate that was part renovation nightmare and part historic treasure. Through weddings, media, filming, and hands-on labor, they turned the challenge into a multi-layered income strategy. And as they rebuild the castle, they also rebuild its future as a working estate that pays for itself. If you're inspired by this story, ask yourself, what assets do you have? What income streams can you build around your goals? Weddings may not make sense for everyone, but the approach of turning your passion into multiple revenue sources might. And that is exactly the lesson to take from the Castle Impossible story.